Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. For those of you who are new there, hello there. My name is Jess. As you can kind of see, this is an October TBR, but we're gonna do something a little bit different, a little bit special. So I have been seeing a TBR game just across the booktube community. It's fairly easy to play with. A lot of people do it. It's very common, and I thought, why not do it for October? Without further ado, we are gonna do the TBR Jar Game. If you've never heard of the TBR Jar Game, basically you get a jar, which I have a sweet tea jar here. I can't remember where I got this from, whether it was a restaurant or if it was like Walmart or Target, but nonetheless, I found a jar like in the back depths of one of my cabinets. I got some pieces of paper, got to work, and basically crumpled them. I can't remember everything that I have in here. It doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, there are a lot of things in here. And the things that I do or can recall are that there are colors in here. For example, if I pick the color blue, I have to find a cover that is predominantly blue. There's genres in here. There are things that are specific for like Halloween / October spookiness. There are, I think, yeah, the letters of the alphabet. So like, let's say there's the letter A. I have to find a book that starts with the letter A. Or if I don't have a book that starts with the letter A, then I need to go to the author's last name. Now, just because, you know, all of that can kind of sound easy, I don't have that many books on my book TBR shelf. So if I don't have anything that starts with an A, then I need to come back to the drawing board, aka the TBR jar, and just like leave that crumpled paper aside. As you guys know, I don't really have that big of a bookshelf. You guys will see it because basically what I'm gonna do for this video is I'm gonna pick 5 of these. Yes, you heard correctly, 5 books. That doesn't seem like a lot, but I am adding 1 book. If you have not watched my latest video, I basically said that I was gonna read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, probably for my October TBR, because I feel bad. I've been trying and meaning to read it, and I just haven't done so. So that is gonna be the 6th book, but I'm picking 5 pieces of paper today for 5 books. Now, when I pick them, I'm gonna go to my shelf. Of course, I'll walk you through everything and basically just pick in real time, like what goes with each piece of paper. I hope that makes sense. It's a pretty easy and I think challenging way of doing a TBR, because even though I love picking the books myself, I just kind of feel like, let's just leave this up to the world's hands and let me just like not have any control with it. Hopefully, we will have a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we can pick a lot of like October, like spooky theme related books. Obviously Get a Life, Chloe Brown isn't, but that is just a different circumstance, so that's going to be kind of on the side. But yes, let's start getting our 5 books. Okay guys, so I'm currently shaking up the jar, and I will pick in front of you guys like each time, just because I don't want you to think I'm cheating or anything. So I am just mixing it up a little bit, and then okay, so I picked 1. All right, so we have, okay, this is a good one. So we have fantasy. So I'm gonna walk over to my TBR shelf with you guys and let's go pick out a fantasy. Okay, you guys, so I know that this is like a weird angle, but just bear with me just because of the lighting is kind of great here. But this is my TBR shelf. So this is literally every single book that I own that I have yet to read. Every time I do finish a book, honestly, it just kind of goes in like one of these cubby holes. And yeah, I just feel like this is so much easier for me for the time being to like look at what I have and to get like motivation instead of just looking at books that I've already read. Like, let's not focus on the past, let's focus on the future. So anyways, like I said before, I did pull out the fantasy crumpled piece of paper, and like other time I said, I do want to pick something like October spooky theme related. So let's see if I have something that fits both categories. Okay guys, that took a lot longer than expected simply because I do have a lot of fantasy books on my shelves that I have been meaning to read for a long time. And also some of them are just like really good for like the spooky October like vibes 100%. And so it took a long time, but I came to the decision of reading Greg Bear's The Unfinished Land. This book is about a guy, his name is Reynard Shotwood. Sorry guys, my little couch is falling on me. This is a historical fiction, so it is set in the year 1588. Basically, he survived a like battle with Spanish Armada's failed invasion. He gets caught, you know, basically in the middle of the ocean, and he thinks he's going to die, but then suddenly another like galleon ship just comes, rescues him, and then basically he's tasked by the captain to find them like a place of safety that they can go to. However, their ship is swept north and they end up at an island that is not even charted. No one knows about this island. So they get there and they fall asleep. Then these things called the eldritch creatures, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, visit the crew, stealing precious time from their sleeping forms. Only two are spared, which is Reynard and then Manuel, who basically rescued him. He is the mariner that rescued him from the ocean. There are two differences. So Manuel is left miraculously younger, while Reynard is gifted or cursed with fragments of knowledge beyond his understanding. And then because of this, they just become super interested in the island, I'm assuming, and they go deeper and deeper into the island, and they end up finding like other humans, other creatures, other beasts, and it turns out that there's like a full-on like war or something. Like nothing is right in this island, and they're finding that humans to these godlike creatures are basically pawns at best. So this is The Unfinished Land. I'm actually very excited to read this. This was like one of the first books that I had ever bought almost several months back, and I've always been meaning to read it, but I've just never been in the mood. And because this is Halloween, because this is October that we're talking about, I thought that this would be, I don't know, I think the perfect vibe. And plus, the cover just kind of reminds me of like something spooky. Actually, no, it reminds me of A Discovery of Witches, which reminds me of the fall, which reminds me of October. So there you have it, guys. The Unfinished Land. Picking book number 2. So here we have a crumpled piece of paper. I don't know why I keep calling it that, but that's the official name for these pieces of paper. And we have, if I can open it, okay, we have the letter T. So I have to find a book that starts with the letter T. Okay guys, back to the drawing board, aka the TBR shelf. We are looking for a book that starts with the letter T. And remember, in my instructions, I said if we don't have a book that starts with the T, we go to the author's last name if there's a T. And I think we definitely have that. So without further ado, let's dig in. I do want to briefly mention, so when a book starts with the, I'm gonna pull those out in case there's not a book that like directly starts with the letter T, and then we will also use that. So yeah, we're adding to the rules. You guys, hands down, found the best book that technically starts with the letter T. So I actually didn't have a book that like actually started with like T as in like teddy bear or whatever. Like it started with the, but that still counts, okay? Like we're adding to the rules, and yeah, I had a lot of books that started with the, and you guys, The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware is definitely hands down the best book basically to have crossed, because this is Halloween, this is haunting, this is giving me all the spooky vibes. And when I read the synopsis again, it does sound like The House of Bly Manor, which is on Netflix, because listen to this, you guys, this is kind of good. We follow a person named Rowan Kane who is basically looking for a job, and she applies for a live-in nanny post, which honestly she's not really qualified for, but like the salary is super generous. Well, she gets it and she goes to a house called the Heather Bray House, which you all know, if your house is titled, that means it's like a mansion or something. And she said it's a luxurious, smart home fitted with all modern conveniences by the Scottish Highlands and by this picture perfect family, which they also have 2 daughters. So everything's going great. She gets the job, but we find out that I think this book is her perspective in the future when she is on trial for murder and there's 1 child dead. And basically she's saying that like this house is spooky, like the lights would turn off at the most inconvenient time, music would be booming at like a random hour in the night, like other things have been crazy. And then also the 2 girls who were like behaving themselves so much during her interview is just like crazy. Also, she's been at this house for like weeks at a time without nobody else, like no other adult supervision, except for the handyman, Jack Graham, which we all know. Handymans, I don't know, I'm getting House of Bly Manor. Like literally, yes, this so much, yes, you guys. I cannot wait to dive into this. Honestly, if it were up to me, which I mean, obviously this is up to me, after Get a Life Chloe Brown, I might dive into this first, just to like get into it. I don't know. But yeah, here we go. Up next, guys, okay, this is for book number 3. I'm quickly gonna pick out a piece of paper. Man, like I don't know what I was thinking, like putting these like this. Oh, guys, we are hitting the jackpot. Okay, we have dark, ooh, okay, there we go. We have Dark Academia. You guys, this is perfect. Let's go find one. You guys, this is gonna be perfect because I know for sure I have Dark Academia on here. Let's just see which one we're going to pick. Another great decision has been made, you guys. I picked The Maidens by Alex Michaelides? Alex Michaelide? I don't know, I'm gonna say Alex Michaelides because I think that's how you pronounce his name. I really don't know. But this book is so freaking popular right now, especially for the spooky season. So I know I'm definitely not the only one who's going to be reading this. Pardon the Target sticker. It won't come off, you guys, and I'm so scared that I'm gonna mess up the cover. So in this book, we have a Greek tragedy professor. His name's Edward Fosca, who basically the main character, her name's Mariana, just thinks that he's a murderer. And the reason she thinks he's a murderer is because 1, he is so loved by everyone, even a secret society of a group of females known as, hello, the Maidens, okay? And on top of that, Mariana's niece has a friend who was murdered, and she was found at Cambridge, like her body was there. And so Mariana's kind of like picking up the clues. However, she's a group therapist, and although she's a successful one, she also comes with some baggage. She has complex issues that I'm sure we as the reader are going to like soon find out, and it might just like kind of meddle with her investigation. So basically, Mariana, who was once herself a student at the university, quickly suspects that behind the idyllic beauty of the spires and turrets and beneath the ancient traditions lies something sinister, and she becomes convinced that despite his alibi, Edward Fosca is guilty of the murder. But why would the professor target one of his students? And why does he keep returning to the rites of Persephone, the maiden, and her journey to the underworld? Super interesting. Also, look at this lovely cover besides the sticker. It's fascinating. I think it's beautiful. Honestly, I got this book because of the cover when I was at Target not too long ago, a couple of months ago, I think actually. And yeah, you guys, this is definitely ready for the spooky vibes. We're going to get into like, oh, I just feel all the feels for this. Okay, book number 4. we are going to do, let's see, what do we have? Okay, we have the letter J. I don't know if we have anything with the letter J, but let's find out. Okay guys, so I didn't have a book that started with the letter J, but I do have one author, and that is N.K. Jemisin. The 5th season, Every Age Must Come to an End. Now, I know that this is a trilogy, and I really don't know how I feel about starting a book from a trilogy because of the, I don't know, the responsibilities of finishing that said trilogy, but nonetheless, we are actually going to read this. Now, I'm gonna read you the synopsis real quickly because, to be quite honest, this book is kind of confusing me. I don't know too much about it, and the synopsis is not that long. So, it says, discover the Broken Earth trilogy, historic winner of 3 consecutive Hugo Awards for Best Novel. This is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the Great Red Rift across the heart of the world's sole continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal and long dormant wounds rising up to fester. This is the stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where the power of the earth is wielded as a weapon and where there is no mercy. So it just sounds like either war is going on, of course there's murder, there's like disappearances. I really don't know too much about it, but nonetheless, this is the 5th season, and this is something that we're gonna try and read in October. It's so massive. Okay guys, last time to pick out a crumpled piece of paper. This is going to be our 5th and last book. Okay, so here is the crumpled piece of paper, and we have the letter M. So let's go find a book that starts with the letter M. Okay guys, so the very last book that I picked is from P. Djeli Clark, A Master of Jin, which this came out a few months back, and I've had it on my shelf since then. I pretty much picked this up like day 1, I think. I honestly can't remember, but this is something that I have been wanting to read, and to be quite honest, I'm really excited because I feel like this definitely counts as a fantasy steampunk-esque book that I would want to read in the fall. And hello, Halloween is technically still fall, you guys. It would be like the beginnings of it. So in this book, we have, it is a historical fiction. It's set in Cairo in the year 1912, and we follow Fatma El Sha'arawi, who is a young woman working for the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities. She's certainly not a rookie, especially after preventing the destruction of the universe last summer. So she's just one of those people, very top up here, definitely not a rookie. And apparently there is murders happening of members of a secret brotherhood dedicated to one of the most famous men in history, Al-Jahiz. Agent Fatma is called to the case. So Al-Jahiz basically transformed the entire universe over 40 years ago because he opened up the veil between the magical and mundane realms before vanishing into the unknown. Now, this murderer claims to be Al-Jahiz returning to condemn the modern age for its social oppression. His dangerous abilities instigate unrest in the streets of Cairo that threaten to spill onto the global stage. So, with the help of a familiar face from her past, Agent Fatma must unravel the mystery behind the imposter to restore peace to the city, or face the possibility that basically he could be exactly who he seems to be, Al-Jahiz. So that is A Master of Jin, and this concludes our video because this was our last book. All right guys, that concludes today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna have a blast reading all these books, even though this was a challenge to kind of find books that fall in the Halloween spooky fall realm. I think I did a pretty good job, all things considering, because I don't really have that big of a TBR bookshelf collection. So I did my best. I think I honestly nailed it. So yeah, super excited to get started. As always guys, don't forget to subscribe if you want more content. Don't forget to hit that bell notification description. Make sure to like this video. All of your support is just so greatly appreciated. And feel free to leave me a comment. Maybe you have read one of these books. Maybe you think I'll like something else so I can add it to my TBR shelf. Also, I will have my Instagram, all type of social medias linked down below as well. So in case you want to follow me on further platforms, that would be so awesome. I love seeing new faces, new subscribers, stuff like that. So without further ado, I am going to end this video right here. I really hope that you are enjoying your day. I hope your head is in a book that is very spooky, probably even haunting at least. Maybe you'll have nightmares tonight. Who knows? But I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye guys.